Hello class. In this video I'm following up with materials and I want to talk about rotating materials sort of into place to get them the right size and right orientation. And I know if you watched the last video I just jumped back to this partially applied material model, but hopefully you have all your materials applied, although you could do this back and forth. You don't have to do this all at once. And so I'm going to look at this siding in the AutoCAD that I gave you on this example one. This siding is vertical, but there's no default vertical siding in SketchUp, so it's horizontal. So it's easy enough to fix. All I'm going to do is I'm going to double click on this. I'm going to select the surface, and then I'm going to right click and say texture, and I'm going to go to position. And what happens is you get these little I don't know, control panels. They skew things, they move things, they scale, and they rotate. Green is rotate. So I can just click on here and I can rotate this around. We can see it's also scaling, but if I just look at rotating, now I've got vertical siding. That easy. Now you'll also notice that in my CAD plan that this siding, and I might not get this exact, again this is art, I don't have to be super exact in this 3D modeling necessarily, but this siding is wider than this siding down here, so I might take this again and I might just scale this a little bit to get about the size of the siding I want. And there we go, and that's that way. Now it's not the color I want yet, but this is just step one. That's simple. And I'll show you how to do it down here. So let's say this one is too I need to make this skinnier as per my CAD model. So I'm going to double click down here, select the face, right click, texture, position, and I'll just take the green and just try not to rotate it. Just pull it in. There we go. I'm pulling to the left and I make it smaller. Now that might be arguably too small, but it just sort of gets the point across. Now let's say now that you've got these materials set up the way you want to, how do you apply that to these other areas that I've already pasted that's not finished, or maybe over here that I don't even have anything? Well, I'm going to go and make sure you're in the group, of course. I'm going to go to Paint Bucket. What I'm going to do is hit ALT on my keyboard, and we'll notice that I've got the eyedropper. Now I'm going to click. Now I've absorbed sort of all of those properties into the Paint Bucket, and so I can paint that, and it goes exactly how I want to, and I can paint that way. And I can hit ALT again and absorb that property, and I can paint it there, and there, and it sort of changes it. So the siding is a good case of that. You might you know, the bricks are probably going to be okay. The siding's probably a big one. Possibly your roofing is going to have to be done that way, because if this metal roofing doesn't come out right, you might need to orient it. So there might be some other things that you need to orient that way. But that works, and you can do sort of any rotation. It really does give you a lot of flexibility in choosing materials any which way. So if I sort of jump over to this model again, we can sort of see the finalized version. I think I might have had to, I can't remember if I had to use it here to orient the this wood siding into pieces so it looks like a composite piece of lumber, which is what it's supposed to be. And I did that by rotating the material so it followed the angle of the roof line. So that was another location. You can see how I've sort of got that modeled all the way around. The colors still aren't right. That's sort of for the next step, but we'll look at that in the next video. All right, I'll see you there.